I never signed up for an HOA, never paid dues, never agreed to anything. But one Monday morning, I opened a county-sealed envelope and boom, there it was. A lien on my house for unpaid HOA fees, late charges, legal costs, even though my land's never been under any HOA jurisdiction. And by the time I was done dragging them through court, their president was indicted on 9 felony counts. Name's Ethan Cole. I live in the same little ranch house my grandfather built back in the 70s, just outside a town called Bellwood Pines. Quiet, wooded, no fuss. My granddad made sure this property stayed free of HOA nonsense when he split up the family land, put it in the deed like a promise. So when that lien showed up with my name scribbled in shaky pen on a joiner agreement, I thought surely this was a clerical mistake. But nah. This thing had been recorded, filed, stamped, legal. According to the county clerk, 4 HOA board members had signed off on my joining. And get this, they even had a notary seal on it. Thing is, the signature next to my name looked like a spider tap-danced across the paper. I never signed anything. I called the HOA, Maple Glen Heights, never even heard of them. Got this cheerful lady on the phone who acted like I was just confused. Said there had been a community vote 2 winters ago, and now all the homes on Hawthorne Ridge, including mine, were part of their jurisdiction. I asked her for the vote records. She said she'd email me the documentation. What I got 2 hours later was another invoice with an additional late fee. That night, Sam Riggs, my neighbor for 20 years, showed up with a 6-pack and a face full of stress. He'd gotten the same lien, same fake signature, same nonsense. He's retired, lives on a pension. The thought of foreclosure had him literally shaking. We sat down at my kitchen table, pulled out our deeds, and started comparing. Our lots were clean, no covenants, no associations. We went door to door that night, and by midnight found 8 houses just like ours, hit with liens based on phantom votes and forged documents. All of them older properties, built long before the Maple Glen subdivision even existed. The kicker? The new homes further down the block, those weren't affected. This wasn't about community. It was a cash grab. Our homes had become ATMs for a broke HOA. I called in Meredith Shaw. She's a real estate litigator with a sharp tongue and a coffee mug that says skull and crossbones. She's the kind of lawyer who eats sloppy paperwork for breakfast. Within a week, she dug up something big. Turns out the HOA president, Leonard Pike, owned a construction company, Pike Construction, that had just landed a no-bid contract from the HOA board to renovate the community pool. Budget, $280,000. Problem, the HOA only had negative $26,000 in reserves. So what did they do? They made up a bunch of new members, sent them retroactive bills for 10 years' worth of dues, and slapped liens on their houses. I dug into the HOA's meeting minutes online. According to them, the vote to annex outside homes was unanimous, but none of us, none of the so-called new members, had even been there. The names, ghosts, made-up homeowners stuffed into a ballot box. That's when the twist hit. I found the notary behind the joiner agreements. Her name was Clarissa Potts, worked at Pike Construction. Meredith tracked her down, and over coffee and pie at a roadside diner, Clarissa told us everything. Leonard had ordered her to notarize blank documents. When she refused, he docked her pay. She quit and filed a whistleblower complaint 2 months later. She still had the texts. Leonard telling her, and I quote, "Just stamp it. I'll get the signatures later." That was it. That was the thread we needed. Meredith filed a quiet title action for every home affected, then hit them with a civil lawsuit for fraud, slander of title, and conspiracy. She got a judge to freeze the HOA's bank accounts, and that same day, their website vanished into the digital void. But Leonard wasn't done. Turns out the HOA treasurer had transferred to $80,000 to Pike Construction just hours before the freeze, claiming it was a progress payment for a pool deck that hadn't even been touched. Clarissa tipped off a local news crew, and soon a segment aired. Neighborhood vigilantes take on rogue HOA. Drone footage showed Leonard's half-baked pool project, cracked concrete, rusted rebar poking through like bones. Residents came forward, telling reporters their streetlights had been out for months, their landscaping dead, and insurance premiums unpaid. The city came out and slapped red tags all over the pool site for safety violations. Leonard fought back with what little power he thought he had. He sent a special assessment notice to every address in his database, including homes like mine, that he had no legal claim over. But this time, even his loyalists turned. People started passing around a recall petition. Within 48 hours, the required signatures tripled. The board called for a recall vote at the community clubhouse. I walked in with a manila folder thick with proxy votes from nearly every house on the original block. Leonard stood at the door, tried to stop me, said I wasn't a member. I pulled out a copy of the LIEN and said, "Can't have it both ways, champ." The room exploded with applause. When the votes were counted, 92-7, the board was out. According to their bylaws, Leonard had 5 days to hand over all HOA records. Instead, at sunrise the next morning, he rented a mobile shredder and started feeding documents into it like crazy. Sam spotted the truck from across the street and called the sheriff. Deputies showed up just in time, stopped the shredding, seized 17 boxes of paperwork. Inside, Meredith found the real bombshell. Plat maps with boundary lines whited out, forged surveyor stamps, and a sticky note that read, "Fix the old lots." That sealed it. The district attorney launched a criminal investigation. The county revoked every fake lien and flagged the HOA's filings for audit. With the title clouds cleared, Meredith moved to civil court and argued that each homeowner had suffered real, measurable losses. The judge agreed, ordered triple damages and punitive costs. Leonard personally owed us over $1.2 million, but it didn't stop there. Clarissa's texts, the doctored maps, and the fraudulent transfers created a timeline of intent so damning that Leonard and 2 board members were indicted on 9 felony counts: wire fraud, forgery, conspiracy, embezzlement. And in a brutal twist, Leonard's own insurance company denied coverage. Their policy didn't protect against deliberate fraud. In fact, they sued Leonard back to recover what they'd already paid for his defense. Within 2 days, Pike Construction filed for bankruptcy. The newly formed interim board, made up mostly of elderly residents just looking to clean up the mess, voted to dissolve the HOA altogether. Under state law, when a HOA dissolves without heirs, the city inherits the property. They bulldozed the pool, planted shrubs, fixed the lights. And me? I framed the original fake lien and hung it right above my desk as a reminder. Don't ever let a notary stamp rewrite your story. So, justice or just revenge?